My name is Callista. I am 32 years old. I have a house. I have a job. I have a husband. From the outside, my life looks perfect. But on the inside, I feel nothing. That is the hardest thing to explain to people. Not sadness, not anger, just nothing. Like a gray sky that never changes. Garrett is a good man. I want to say that first. He is kind, he is responsible, he has never hurt me. He works hard, he comes home on time, he never forgets to take out the trash. But we have been married for 8 years, and somewhere in those 8 years, we stopped seeing each other. Every day is the same. I wake up at 6:30, I make coffee. Garrett comes downstairs. He looks at his phone. I look at mine. We drink our coffee in silence. Not an angry silence, just an empty one. I go to work. I come home. I cook dinner. We eat. The TV talks. We don't. Then we sleep. Then we do it all again. I used to think this was normal. I used to think every marriage becomes this. But lately, I look in the mirror and I don't recognize the woman looking back at me. Her eyes are tired. Her smile is gone. She looks like she is waiting for something, but she doesn't know what. I feel numb. That is the only word. Like someone turned the volume down on my life. Everything is quiet. Everything is still. Everything is fine. And fine is the loneliest feeling in the world. It was a Tuesday. I was scrolling through my phone after dinner. Garrett was watching football. I wasn't really looking at anything, just scrolling, killing time. Then I saw it. A small advertisement. A woman in a red dress. Her arms were open, her head was back. She looked so free. Beginner salsa classes. Every Thursday, no experience needed. Come alone, come together. Just come. I stared at it for a long time. Something moved inside me, small, like a tiny light turning on in a dark room. I showed Garrett. Look at this, I said. Dance classes, on Thursdays. I think I want to try. He looked up from the TV. He smiled. That warm, tired smile I know so well. That's great, babe, he said. I'm not really a dance guy, you know that. He looked back at the screen. But you should go. You'd be good at it. He meant it kindly, I know that. But something in me felt a little more alone after he said it. Okay, I said quietly. Maybe I will. And I put my phone down, and I told myself I probably wouldn't go. But on Thursday, I went. The dance studio was on the second floor of an old building downtown. I almost turned back 3 times walking up the stairs. What am I doing? I thought. I don't know how to dance. I don't know anyone here. But I kept walking. When I opened the door, warm air came out. The smell hit me first. Wooden floors, a little bit of sweat, and something sweet, like an old perfume. Soft Latin music was playing. Not loud, just gentle, like a conversation between instruments. People were already inside. Some were stretching, some were laughing with friends. I stood near the door with my arms crossed, feeling completely out of place. I should leave, I thought. Then someone spoke. First time? I turned around. He was tall, dark hair, warm brown eyes that looked at me like they actually saw me. He was smiling, not in a way that felt like a performance, just easy, natural, real. Is it that obvious? I said. He laughed softly. A little, but that's okay. Everyone starts somewhere. He held out his hand. I'm Grayson. Callista, I said. I shook his hand. "Do you want to try a few steps?" he asked. "Nothing complicated, just to feel the music." I almost said no. The old Callista, the numb, quiet Callista, would have said no. But something made me say yes. He took my hand gently. He placed his other hand on my back. The music shifted. Slower, warmer, and then we moved. It was nothing special, just simple steps. Left, right, forward, back. I probably looked ridiculous, but something happened in that moment that I cannot fully explain. It was like waking up, like taking a breath after being underwater for years, like someone had turned the volume back up on a song I had forgotten I loved. I felt alive. For the first time in a very long time, I felt completely, terrifyingly alive. Weeks passed. Every Thursday, I went to the studio. I told myself it was just dance, just exercise, just something for me. But I knew it was more than that. Grayson and I started texting. Small things at first. "Good class tonight. You're getting better, seriously." Then longer messages. Late at night, when Garrett was asleep and the house was quiet, and I was sitting alone in the dark with my phone glowing in my hands. Grayson would say things like, "You seem like someone who has been invisible for a long time." And I would stare at those words, and my heart would beat faster, because he was right. And it scared me that a stranger understood me better than the man I had married. At home, I smiled more. I felt more. But the smiles were not for Garrett, and I knew that. And that knowledge sat inside my chest like a stone. I was not doing anything wrong, not technically. We had not crossed any line. But emotionally, I was already somewhere else. I felt alive on Thursdays, and guilty on Fridays, and empty again by Sunday. And I kept going back, because feeling alive, even for a few hours, felt like water after years of thirst. That is how dangerous it was. Not loud, not obvious, just quiet and warm and slowly pulling me under. It was a Thursday in November. It was raining hard outside. Most people had left early because of the weather. Then it was just us. The studio was almost dark. One light above the dance floor, the rain hitting the windows, soft music still playing from the speaker in the corner. We danced slowly. No instruction, no counting steps, just moving together like we had done it 100 times. Then Grayson stopped. He looked at me, really looked at me, and he pulled me a little closer and said quietly, "You don't have to go back to an empty life." The words hit me like cold water. My heart was pounding. He was so close, the rain was so loud, the room was so small. And for one moment, one terrible, honest moment, I wanted to stay. But then I saw Garrett's face. Not in the room, in my mind. His tired smile, his coffee cup on the counter, the way he always puts an extra blanket on me when I fall asleep on the couch. The small, quiet ways he loves me that I had stopped seeing. I stepped back. My eyes filled with tears. "I have to go," I whispered. "Callista?" "I have to go, Grayson." I grabbed my bag. I walked to the door. My hands were shaking. And then I walked out into the rain and I let it hit my face. And I stood on the pavement and I cried. Not quietly, really cried. The kind of crying that comes from somewhere deep. I cried because I had almost made a terrible mistake. I cried because I had been so lonely inside my own marriage. I cried because I had let myself get lost. And I cried because I still loved my husband, and I had forgotten that. When I got home, the house was dark and quiet. Garrett was asleep on the couch. The TV was still on. His glasses were crooked on his face. One arm was hanging off the cushion. I stood there and looked at him. This man, I thought, this good, quiet, imperfect man chose me, and I almost threw that away for a feeling. I sat down on the floor next to the couch. I took his hand gently so I would not wake him. Then I took out my phone. I opened Grayson's name. I deleted the conversation. I deleted his number. I put the phone face down on the carpet, and I stayed there, holding Garrett's hand, until I stopped crying. Things did not get better overnight. Real life never works that way. But I told Garrett the truth. Not everything, but enough. I told him I had been lonely. I told him I felt invisible. I told him I almost made a choice I could never take back. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I didn't know you felt that way. I should have asked." That conversation was the first real one we had in years. After that, we started trying. We went to one counseling session, then another. We started eating dinner without the TV. We took a small trip, nothing expensive, just a weekend by the coast. We walked on the beach and talked for hours like we used to when we were young. He even tried a dance class with me. He was terrible. He stepped on my feet twice and knocked over a water bottle. We laughed until our stomachs hurt. It was the best night I had in years. I realized something slowly over those months. Love is not a feeling that stays on its own. Love is a choice. You make it every morning, every dinner, every quiet evening, every hard conversation. Happiness does not come from finding someone new. It comes from choosing, really choosing, what you already have. I had spent years waiting to feel alive, but I was looking in the wrong place. The life I wanted was already mine. I just had to wake up and see it. If you are reading this and you feel numb or invisible or like something is missing, I understand. That feeling is real. But before you chase something new, ask yourself honestly, have I really tried with what I already have? Sometimes the door we are looking for is not somewhere new. Sometimes it is right behind us, already open, already home. Choose your people. Choose your promises. Choose love, not just when it is easy, but especially when it is not. That is the only dance that truly matters. Thanks for listening to my story. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and tell me where you're listening from.